Are you new to sourdough baking and feel like your sourdough sandwich bread will never be as good as what professional bakers make? The good news is that homemade soft sourdough, even when it looks rustic, can be amazingly fluffy and delicious with this recipe and these tips. Hello friends, this is Heather the Fed Up Foodie, and if you haven't yet, I highly recommend that you begin with my easy sourdough starter that has helped thousands of new sourdough bakers get started. To make a brand new sourdough starter from scratch, it will take about a week, and then you'll be ready to make this soft sourdough. Okay, to begin the bread, weigh and combine the starter, sugar, and warm water in a large bowl and then mix together until the starter is mostly dissolved. Add in the flour and the salt and mix until the flour is mostly incorporated. One of the number one questions that many new bakers have is, do the ingredients have to be weighed rather than measured? Personally, I highly recommend weighing the ingredients because it ensures exact amounts, which gives you consistent results every time. Once the flour is mixed into the starter and water, add in the oil and mix until everything comes together into a rough, shaggy dough. The main secret to making sourdough soft is the addition of oil. It coats the flour particles and slightly weakens the gluten development, thereby creating a soft and tender crumb. Also, the addition of sugar and warm water help in a secondary way. Warm water helps to activate the yeast in the sourdough starter, and sugar acts as a food source for the yeast. Once all your ingredients are mixed together, cover and let the dough rest at room temperature for 45 minutes. After resting, you will begin the first of 4 stretch and fold cycles. The stretch and fold technique in making sourdough is crucial for developing the gluten, building strength within the dough, and ensuring even fermentation. Luckily, the stretch and fold technique is much easier than kneading. To approach this technique, gently pinch one side of the dough, stretch it upwards, and fold it over the rest of the dough. Rotate the bowl and repeat until all sides have been folded. After the stretch and fold cycles are completed, cover and let the dough rest to complete the first fermentation, also known as bulk fermentation. This is a stage where the yeast in the starter metabolizes the sugar in the flour, giving the dough its rise. Depending on whether the first fermentation is done in the refrigerator or at room temperature, it can last anywhere from 4 to 12 hours. Once the first fermentation is complete, turn the dough into a lightly floured flat surface. At this stage, I like to tighten up the dough by using the stretch and fold technique a few times. Divide the dough in half using a sharp knife or bench scraper. This is where the scale comes in handy again, making sure the loaves weigh the same amount. To shape the loaves, gently flatten the halves into a rectangle shape. Starting with the edge closest to you, roll the dough tightly away from you, creating a cylinder. Once shaped, transfer the loaves to greased loaf pans. Cover and let rest at room temperature to complete the second fermentation, also known as the final proofing. Depending on factors such as the ambient temperature and strength of the sourdough starter, the length of the final proofing can last anywhere from 1 to 4 hours. You will know the loaves are ready to bake when they have increased in volume and have a slight jiggle when gently shaken. One incredibly important tip is to preheat your oven for at least 30 minutes before baking. Doing this will help ensure a rapid rise of the bread dough, also known as oven spring. This rapid rise helps to create a light and airy texture, thereby enhancing the softness of the sourdough. Bake your loaves in a preheated 375-degree oven for 35 to 40 minutes, or until they are golden brown and sound hollow when tapped. Once baked, remove the loaves from the oven and let them cool in the pans for 10 minutes before transferring them to a wire rack to cool completely. Depending on the type of loaf pan being used, the bread may need a little extra help before being transferred by running a spatula or butter knife along the side. Before slicing and storing your bread, it's incredibly important to let your bread cool completely to prevent mold from forming. Also, for additional tips such as freezing, storage, and troubleshooting, check out the full recipe for this soft sourdough bread. For more recipes like this and for weekly inspiration, make sure to head on over to thefedupfoodie.com and sign up for my newsletter where I share recipes and tips in helping to make cooking from scratch approachable.